pledge allegiance to the flag of America, republic for God, with liberty and justice for all. Can everyone please remain standing for a second? Go ahead.
I'm gonna get closer to the mic. The law enforcement community lost a very important member. Try this again. The law enforcement community lost a very important member over the weekend. Jose Santiago was a retiree of NYPD, and he was a Washingtonville police officer. He was killed in a car accident on Saturday. He's going to be missed by many, so we'd like to take a moment to just pay respects to him.
Hey, thank you, Dory.
Thank you, Dory.
Check your mic. Make sure your mic's working.
Is my mic? Nope.
No, George. Her mic's not working. She's going to peel the tape back and see if it's on. There we go.
All right, now
Okay,
I'm on.
thank you. All right, okay. I'll make a motion to open up this evening's meeting for the meeting of March 24th.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. All right, first item on the agenda, we were sued by the villages of Harriman and Monroe regarding the Rye Hill purchase and the fact that the monies were put in the A fund. That case was dismissed by the judge, in essence giving us a victory there. Since then, the village has filed the same lawsuit to preserve their rights, and they essentially duplicated the procedure. It was the same lawsuit with changes in obviously the dates and years. So all I will say on that was what I just said, because they've appealed it, so I don't want to discuss the lawsuit. I just want everyone to be clear that the first one was dismissed, and essentially I don't see why the second one won't be, because it was the same lawsuit that was filed. Item 3.2, 2025 tax collector's notice.
Yes, so this is the last time that we'll be talking about this. Seems like it's been a while, but anyway, we are in March now, and March 31st will be the last day for tax payments before anything not paid will get sent up to the county, where additional penalties, unfortunately, will have to be put on. The town clerk's office, tax collector's office, will be open late on March 31st until 5 p.m. for anyone that wanted to come to town hall to pay your taxes. You can also put your bill in the mail. You just want to make sure that it's postmarked no later than March 31st. Again, that's by the post office, not a meter stamp. Even if your bill comes in, say April 5th, in the mail, if it's postmarked March 31st, it will still be honored with that March penalty and not go up to the county.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk and Tax Collector. Item 3.3, updated Town of Monroe domain name.
Yes, so earlier this year, a bill was signed by the governor. I don't get it either. Okay, so earlier this year, the governor signed a bill requiring all municipalities greater than 1,500 people will need to have a domain that, and the government website will need to have a domain that ends in .gov. So we just wanted to keep you updated that the new domain, townofmonroeny.gov, is currently active. Now, you'll still be able to get to all the information that you need to get to through monroeny.org. Both of those will be working together simultaneously indefinitely. So we'll have two websites, monroeny.org, and to comply with GML 300, townofmonroeny.gov.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Next up is item 3.4, nursing home collection with the parishes of Sacred Heart, St. Patrick. The Christian Service Committee at Sacred Heart Church is hosting an annual nursing home collection to benefit residents of local nursing homes. Items should be new and unwrapped. Some of the items they're collecting are large print crossword books, coloring books, pens, pencils, crayons, sugar-free cookies, and sugar-free candy. Some sleepwear, non-slip socks, lap blankets, shawls, DVDs, sweatshirts, sweatpants, and some other items such as note cards, non-glass picture frames, boxes of tissues, tote bags, and men's and women's fragrances. If you have any of those items or want to go purchase those items that are still new, please drop them off, or you can call Aileen at 845-781-0856 or Renee at 845-783-3389. Thank you. Next up, item 3.5, Orange County Mobile DMV at Town Hall. And we got two times it's going to be here before our next town board meeting. It's going to be here tomorrow, March 25th. If you have the need to get any of your license transactions, reel and enhance, enforcement transactions, or registrations, stop by tomorrow, 10 to 12 and 1 to 3:30. They're closed from 12 to 1 for lunch. And then the same will happen on April 8th, which actually is, the day after our next town board meeting. So they'll be here tomorrow, like I said, 10 to 3:30 with lunch from 12 to 1. Thank you to Kelly Eskew for all her efforts in making that happen. Councilman Scancarello, job fair at the high school.
Yes, job fair is taking shape here very nicely. We've got 25 businesses that are going to participate. The date of that is April 10th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the high school. Some of the businesses are ShopRite, and we got a bunch from the Commons, Steve Madden, The Gap, Nike, Hollister, Abercrombie and Finch, Monroe Joint Fire Department will be there. Just to name a few here, Garnet Health, New York State Police, and we expect another 15 to 20, 25 more businesses. So if you have a young adult, get them down to the job fair, get them their jobs, and let's get them employed.
Thank you.
I had one thing. Garnet Health is $11.99 SEIU. If anybody's thinking of going into health care, there's opportunities where the union might pay for your education. So when you go to that job fair, please ask the people at Garnet to give them more information about that.
Awesome. That's great.
Thank you, Mary. Councilwoman Bingham, 3.7, volunteers needed for the airplane park transformation.
Yes,
Excuse me, I'm actually the volunteer coordinator for this project.
What's that?
I'm the volunteer coordinator for this project.
Okay. Councilwoman Bingham, would
I
you
just
like to
wanted
talk?
to mention that, yes, they do have a website. It's Village of Monroe Events at gmail.com. Maureen Richardson, Councilwoman, will speak more about it, but they are definitely looking for volunteers. And Maureen, if you would like to fill in the blanks.
Thank you, Mary. I hope to see you there. Yes, I'm just a new recruit, so I signed up to organize volunteers by skill level. We are just asking that you respond via the links that are going out online. There's some QR codes. There's a week-long build from April 7th to, I believe, April 13th. 3 shifts per day, morning, afternoon, and evening, except on the last day. There's a spot to essentially describe what tools you may be able to provide to us, and also your skill level and anything you'd like to work on so that we can pair you with the right people and the right time. So please visit the village website. This is certainly listed there, and sign up as soon as possible, and we'll be seeing you.
Thank you. Item 2.8 is clean sweep, and clean sweep is moving right along. We have a meeting on Wednesday, Saturday, April 26th, beginning at 8 a.m. And it's going to be at Monroe Town Hall. Location had to be changed due to St. Anastasia holding their communion on that day. They switched their communion dates, so we're obviously not going to be able to use that parking lot. So
I declared that.
we'll be here, yeah. Yeah, so we made that pivot pretty quickly. It was probably within 10 minutes of finding out. And I've been working with the Monroe PD on it as far as all the logistics regarding where everything's going to be placed, where the parking's going to be. And it's been successful for the last 25, 30 years when Charlie Finity started it. So it's going to be from 8 a.m. Till 12 p.m. And then we're going to roll right into the Arbor Day celebration, which Amory Morris is working on with our Conservation Commission, and that's going to be at 1 o'clock at Monbassia Park. You'll be able to get a free sapling, and Troop 440 is going to be assisting us in planting a few trees. So thank you, Troop Leader Thaw. Appreciate it. And that's really it on that. Monroe Free Library's open house. That's item 3.10. Dory, you want to talk about that?
Sure. The Monroe Free Library is hosting their open house on Saturday, April 12th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The library is at 44 Mill Pond Parkway, right there in the village. You'll be able to drop in and take part in a bunch of really fun activities. There will be crafts. There'll be, you can meet the library staff and board. There'll be a scavenger hunt, some refreshments. There'll be raffles. You can get information on programming that they offer. So it should be a good day. April 12th, 11 to 2.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I might also add that Matt is filling in for Mr. Nugent this evening. He's filled in the past. Thank you for being here. Item 4.1, I'll make a motion to open the continuation of the reopening of the public hearing regarding local law H-V2 of 2022 to amend Chapter 50 zoning concerning regulations governing tree preservation.
Poole will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye?
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Anyone sign up,
No
Madam
public
Clerk?
comment.
What's that?
No public comment.
No public comment? Anybody want to speak? Okay. I think it's best we close this at this time. Everyone's received the unredlined version, the
clean version.
the clean version of the draft, of the original draft and changes. So what I'd like to do is make a motion to close the adoption, to close the public hearing, and we'll adopt it at the meeting on April 7th. We'll leave it open for written comments for 10 days.
Second.
Call the question.
Discussion? We just got that letter from Max this afternoon. I still haven't had a chance to read it in detail, so I'm not sure closing the public comment, even for written, is appropriate.
If we extend the written, would that
Right.
be,
So I'm going to vote nay.
okay.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Can I ask if we extend the written comment a little further out? Would we be open to re-amending the motion?
Had 3 yes votes.
Okay, I'm just asking if we could always
Yeah, we just had 3
amend
yes.
the motion, but,
Well, but it's open for 10 days.
Okay.
So the written comment will be open for 10 days. So people can still make comments. It's still available to them.
well, regardless, if it gets changed again, we're going to have to reopen it, so I'll just vote aye now.
Okay, so moved.
Yes.
Item 5.1 is the acceptance of March 3rd, 2025 minutes. I'll make a motion to accept those.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye?
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, item 6.1 is the general fund abstract. 2025, I'll make a motion, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Monroe request approval of abstract number 25-6, general fund containing checks 36511-36589, totaling $254,276.36.
Who will second?
Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
So moved. Escrow fund abstract. That's, I'll make a motion, be it resolved, town board of the town of Monroe, request approval of abstract 25-04, escrow funds containing checks 2201 through 2204, totaling $4,621.20.
Poole will second.
Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Item 7.1 is a cash transfer abstract. I will make a motion, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Monroe made a motion to approve abstract 2025-02 in the amount of $2,030,000 for cash transfers to from investment funds.
Hingham will second.
Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 8.1 is the New York Association of Towns Finance School. I'll make a motion approving town employees Francesca Tapia Santos, Account Clerk, Finance Department, and Angelina Olson, Confidential Secretary to Superintendent of Highways, to attend the 25th Annual Town Finance and Personnel School, that is offered in partnership with the Office of the State Controller from Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 to Thursday, April 24th, 2025. At the Saratoga Hilton, full days of classes, events will be provided, breakfast and lunch each day as well. The cost of the registration is $250 per person plus $65 per person for the NYAOT Finance School dinner with keynote speaker, State Controller Thomas DiNapoli. Additional dinners to be reimbursed at the town-approved daily rate not to exceed $34 per person. The cost for hotel accommodations for a 3-night stay at Saratoga Hilton is $378 per person. So I'll make a motion. Would anyone like to second?
I'll second.
Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
So moved. Okay, refuge rate increase. So due to the tipping fees increasing, the refuge rate of $20 per unit or household per month will become, is effective, I believe, as per the contract, they are allowed to do that.
Is it $20 or 20 cents?
20 cents, I'm
Okay.
sorry. What did I say, $20?
You said $20.
No, I'm
so
sorry,
I
20
checked.
cents per unit. Now, that is for garbage disposal. There is also an increase of about 18 cents per unit for single stream recycling. So it'll cost, in round numbers, about $4.75 per year per household.
Oh, there we go. When we went with Interstate in the interim, did we compare pricing with other disposal companies? And do we have those rates to know if now we are neck and neck with other services?
So the rates are the same that they were with Morangi.
Okay.
Okay, did I have a second?
I'll second.
Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 8.3 is the MS4 SWIP acceptance of 127 Seven Springs Road. Somebody's going to make this motion because I have to.
I'll make a motion for this, to authorize the supervisor to sign the MS4 SWIP agreement for 127 Seven Springs Road, Monroe, New York.
Who will second? So the owner-operator is Golden Stone Consulting LLC. The SWIP was reviewed by MHE Engineering, who was the engineering firm for the planning board. And, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Call the question?
Question?
Hingham, aye.
Stancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool, aye.
Richardson, I.
Okay. Next up is the stormwater control and drainage easement agreement at 127 Seven Springs Road.
Yep, so do I have to read all of this now, therefore be it resolved? This is long.
Matt, what section does she have to read?
Everybody's had this?
So because it's been in front of us.
Yeah.
So I would like to make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to sign the stormwater control facility and drainage maintenance easement agreement for 127 Seven Springs Road.
And we'll second.
Call the question.
Question?
Am I?
Stancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool, aye.
Richardson, I.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That's also been approved by our engineering firm, and I'm going to make this adjustment in the amounts from our last meeting. So I'll make a motion that the amounts regarding the performance security, this is actually item 9.3, but I want to keep it in the project on the agenda, so it's not in two separate locations. So the planning board required a landscaping, security and public improvements, security for the project, and the estimates are as follows. Based on the attached estimate, the landscaping security should be in the amount of $187,136, and the public security improvement agreement in the amount of $48,266.24 for the construction of the town road drainage easements. Those numbers, we actually changed twice, and then it was noted that the public improvement security agreement, the number was incorrect.
Excuse me.
It looks like the land security
yeah,
is
mine
for 117,000.
has a different number
136. Do you
than
have
what
that?
you read. You said 180
In
something, and this
in-
one says 117.
They said there was a typo.
All right, so that's the typo, but they typed it again wrong on the letter I
On the
got.
letter,
Okay,
So
so
what we have then in the agenda
is,
on board docs is,
The mail
Yeah, under
is
public
the correct
content,
one.
it
Oh.
says that it's 117.
so the landscaping security should be $117,136?
yes,
Okay,
Yes.
note that correction, please, Madam Clerk.
and then
Okay.
48,266.24 for the public improvement security.
Okay.
No, but I
So-
will, pool the second.
I'll make that motion, you second it. Call the question.
Hingham, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool, aye.
Richardson, I.
Okay. Next up is the Monroe Woodbury Jewish Community Center license agreement. It's an extension for 3 years of the license agreement, 5% increases from this year on. It's in front of you. It's the same contract essentially. Matt actually prepared it.
Thank you, Matt.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do you have to sign it?
I'm sorry, yes, I do. You have to make that motion.
So I will make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement with the Monroe Woodbury Jewish Community Center for the property, it's a license agreement for the property at 11 Stage Road.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Yes.
Sure.
Is there any chance in the future we are planning to sell that building?
I'm aware of.
Not, okay.
If
Just,
we did, it'd have to go to referendum.
A referendum, okay, thank you.
I think it would also have to be determined that the public can't use it in a municipal benefit, and this is obviously in use in a profitable way for the public, so.
All righty.
Okay.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye?
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Next up is a resolution authorizing special counsel to represent the town in litigation.
I think we skipped one. The pump test proposal?
No, the one above is 8.6.
Oh, sorry, I skipped one.
You skipped one, yeah, that's all right. Okay, so I'm going to read this resolution because it's pretty quick. Now therefore, it is resolved as follows: all whereas paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference as those set forth in full. Special counsel Ferrick Nugent McCartney, PLLC, is hereby authorized to appear on behalf of the town and supervisor Anthony Cardone and shall be compensated for all services performed in this action in regard to the aforesaid proceeding entitled Village of Monroe et al. Versus Town of Monroe et al. Under index number EF 002602-2025, including any appeals if necessary, as set forth in the Town Board Resolution and Agreement appointing special counsel. Section 3, the resolution shall be effective immediately. I'll make that resolution motion.
Second for discussion. Is he going to charge the same rate as?
Yeah, same rate
Yeah,
as it
same
was
rate,
before.
okay,
Yep.
because there wasn't a rate mentioned when you were
Yep.
reading it. So Bingham, aye?
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. Now we have 8.7 Plotty Village pumping test proposal. So the scope of services you have in front of you, and they'll install Rourke well drilling will install high-capacity test pumping system for 100 gallons per minute for the proposed testing. They'll disinfect the well. They'll perform an 8-hour step pumping test to evaluate water yield and water quality. They'll collect water quality samples at the end of the testing and submit to a laboratory for a full Part 5 analysis for a new groundwater source. Prepare data that includes well testing data and laboratory testing results. Submit the data summary to the town, and the email correspondence will include a brief summary of the well testing and recommendations for the next phase of evaluation as is appropriate. So the requested budget for the described scope of work includes, it's $17,050 in total. Alpha Services, who is the hydrogeologist, is $9,500. Rourke Well Drilling is $4,300. And Phoenix Laboratories, who will do the water testing, is $3,250. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second for discussion. Water districts 8 and 10 are going to pay for this?
It's going to be paid out right now. I believe it's going to be paid out of shared services and then charged back to water districts 8 and 10.
Okay,
Because we don't know if any other districts will benefit from it.
benefit from it. And shared services,
There's different,
engineering, it would
there's-
probably come under engineering?
What's that?
Contractual? Engineering contractual?
yeah.
Okay, because I don't think there's enough money in there.
No, but we have contingency that we could transfer.
Okay,
Should residents expect to see any disruption to their wells, and will we be putting out a notice to those water districts around the time that this testing is going on?
No, because they're really nowhere near that development, and they've done testing on it already. I don't see that anyone will experience any drop in water pressure, and it's only an 8-hour test, and I believe they will be doing it from like 12 to 8 p.m. Pat, do you know?
Nobody will be affected by right now.
Start from the beginning.
I will say nobody should be, I'm not sure what times exactly, but nobody should be affected by this because the water tables are up so high. So,
And this is just for quality, right? We're not, we already did pressure tests previously, because
We're
obviously if the
also,
water
we're also
table is
testing
high.
for amount,
then-
gallons per minute.
Okay, so if the water table is high, isn't that a false?
No, it's probably a normal is what it is, but right now, nobody should see a problem. And I don't think that you'll ever see a problem with the amount of water that's in the ground here.
I'm on town water.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay.
Call the question?
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool, aye.
Thank you.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Item 8.9 is a request from the Bald Hill developers.
8.8,
Water district.
Water District
Yeah.
Code Review. I'm doing
Now
what you
you're
did,
skipping
Dory,
one.
yeah. Okay, a Water District Code Review, discussion regarding the MHE Task Order 25-2 with respect to Water District Code Review and updates. It's going to cost us $6,000 plus some reimbursable expenses. I'll let Councilwoman Bingham talk about that.
Basically, actually, Highway Department has been having problems getting into some of the homes to have meters installed. So we need to strengthen the code as far as allowing our personnel to go in and do the necessary work. Also, I guess with this, we also probably should be updating the type of piping that's allowed and how that's going to work. But Mr. Patterson would fill in the details a little more.
That's correct, Mary. So there's a lot of things that are missing in our water code. I know we updated a few years ago, but there's still, with myself and John going through the water codes, the type of copper you use for a service line isn't there. Getting into residents and them just saying, I'm not letting you in the house every time you call them to get the meters fixed. We're losing a lot of money in our districts, and we have to be able to enforce getting into these residents. Most municipalities have the law that they have to have the access to the meter because of the accountability for the gallons that we're losing in there. And sometimes it could benefit the resident, or sometimes their meter hasn't been working for many, many years, but we have to be accountable for that water. Also, I don't know if I should go, how far I should go into it, but if we want to go right into the next request for the C900 plastic pipe, if we're going to allow that, there's a bunch of laws that have to be written into effect on that, and some of them include making that we have to have an engineer on site when it's being installed to make sure that they put the locating wire in the ground, and I'm going to request double location wires if we do that. We also have to make sure that there's ground rods put into the houses, and the plumbers do not tap onto the water lines. The electricians don't tap onto the water lines to get their ground, because what that does, if you're running a copper line to the main, is it creates electrolysis on the saddle on the main where it connects, and it rots the saddle out. So you have leaks, they can't be detected where they are, and eventually it becomes a big problem in the road. So there's a bunch of things like that with it. So, and if you want me to go into the C900 pipe along with this,
I'd like to, but before we do that, I'd
Yep.
like to get our engineer's take on it,
sure.
you know?
I
Absolutely.
did have a question about this because what you're describing sounds like it's a problem if you allow it for like normal residences. It becomes obviously like if you're doing any digging, what you're talking about with the location wires, it's like, I've had people working at my house and they have to detect where the utility lines are, including the water, and they won't be able to do that if they're not metal, right? So that's what those lines are. I was wondering if we could consider, if anybody's heard of just allowing it for like commercial where it's more regulated and we can manage it and plan it with the planning board rather than just allowing all of anyone all at the same time when we aren't prepared.
The C900 pipe is the water mains, is what
Okay.
that is. It's not service lines. Generally, I wouldn't recommend a plastic service line to the house. I would recommend that you still have a copper service line, but with the C900 mains.
Okay.
So it won't be a residential install.
Okay, yeah, so that you've already
I've dealt with
addressed
this in the past.
Yes, good.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Pat. So you have to sign this, right?
For the district codes review?
Yes. Okay, so I'll make a motion authorizing the supervisor to sign the agreement with MHE for the Water District Code Review and Update in the amount of $6,000 plus any incidental reimbursable expenses.
A second for discussion, it should come out of the Water Department Shared Services because for code updates, that's more engineering and legal, and not all the
No, but-
districts have 2025 in their budget, but it goes into shared services. You could backtrack it later on. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
amend my motion to include that it should come out of the Water District Shared Services line. Call the question?
Am I?
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Item 9.1, Monroe Landscape requested to delay until next meeting, so we don't have to speak on that item.
Okay.
And item 9.2, you have before you the
Dates for the senior center?
dates for the senior center, and I believe that they submitted a COI.
Yes.
Okay.
Supervisor, can I just backtrack? Did we do 8.9?
Yeah, Pat talked about it in conjunction
Okay.
with what we were talking about.
So there's no motion or anything?
There's no decision on it.
Okay.
We have to speak to our engineers about it.
Are we also skipping 9.1?
Yes.
I
Okay.
just said that 9.1 is, asked to be
It's
Uh,
both
move-
items, yeah.
move.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that the Town Board of Town of Monroe approves the following dates for use of the Senior Center for the Town of Monroe Republican Committee. March 20th, which happened already, April 17th, May 15th, June 19th, July 17th, August 21st, September 18th, October 16th, November 20th, and December 18th. And an updated COI has been approved. Previously, only January and February were approved, as the COA on file had an expiration of 3/13.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Am I?
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay.
And we did 9.3
We did 9.3.
earlier.
Public comment?
Sweet.
No public comment.
Anyone want to speak? No? Yeah, come on up. Just come up to the mic, state your name.
Yes, worthy supervisor, thank you. I just had a question on
Name?
James Banville.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Sure.
I know you, but not everybody else in TV land does.
Just had a question about when the topic of the sewer, the expansion of this, I guess, Harriman Sewer District, does that come up here at
So-
some point in time?
So we, Mary, Dory, and myself, were at the sewer public hearing today. Mary and myself spoke. The numbers were 562 and like 504 with the new expansion per unit, which is a household. Now that number was without grants, I believe.
That's right.
It was without grants. So when they apply for a WIA grant, state funding, federal funding, and what have you, that number that was 504 could drop to like 326, I think it was.
Okay, because the last I saw was 1,000. I knew
Yeah,
the numbers were still
So they
landing,
were
right?
saying that the range would be somewhere between 800 and change to like 1,036, and that's what the public should be made aware of.
Right.
Okay.
But
And-
that includes your operating and maintenance costs that you're
Right.
currently paying.
Okay, yeah, the way I read it.
So it's not an
yeah.
additional $1,000 on what you're currently paying. It could be a maximum, in the worst-case scenario, an additional $500 per year.
And
Per
then I
unit.
was just wondering, like, how many years are we
Right.
talking? Does it also include new housing, new units? I think
No.
you call them new units.
I don't believe that included new units. I think Mary asked that question,
Right, and
actually.
Yeah,
we're
and I'm
waiting
not
for an
sure
answer.
why.
The county would be
Yeah.
supplying some answers.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, it's
One-
still it's still gelling, right? It's not nailed to the
Yeah,
wall
no,
yet?
nothing's,
Right.
yeah, nothing's nailed to the wall. That's why the public hearing happened. I spoke about the fact that the quality of life burden that the village of Harriman residents experience on a daily basis now was going to be increased due to the fact that there's going to be construction, noise, traffic, dirt on their roads, et cetera. So I asked them to consider the village of Harriman residents and see if there could be some consideration offered. I don't know what that consideration is. I just asked the legislature to entertain that.
Okay, and when might I look for more updates and like more solidified information?
I don't
The
know when
county
the
has their
next-
sewer district meetings, which
That's what let me see if I can find out when the next sewer
they meet
district-
periodically, the sewer district.
They don't, yeah, they don't
At the
meet
meeting today,
monthly.
they didn't give us an exact date, and that's why Councilwoman Hulu is going to look up to see when the next committee meeting is.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to keep updated.
Now, the public hearing was recorded, and the county has a YouTube channel. So I'm sure that there's a way to get to it through and you know what, Val, if I can find it, I'll send it to you. Can you post it on the town's website? Okay.
I mean,
So
yeah,
we'll post that to the town's website so that you can watch the public hearing. Mary Beth Bianconi, the partner for Delaware Engineering, who's doing the design for this project, gave a very good explanation of the history and what the costs will be and how it's broken down. So you can watch that, you can see everybody's questions, okay? So
Thank
I'll
you very
get that over to you, Val, and you can get it on the website.
it sounds like that is the final.
Okay, I thank
Final
the
word on that.
supervisor and the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. Anyone else? No? Okay. Need to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss essentially appointments of personnel.
Okay. Who will second?
Other question?
Ingham, aye?
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye?
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
All right. Thank you, everyone.